One of the variables that we manipulate in plyo programs is the weight of the plyos. So a full set of OGX plyos goes from 1 pound all the way down to 5 ounces. Typically, we use the 1 pound in our glove arm. This is really our opportunity to register where the glove arm is in space. It can be a little bit heavy to throw, although you can, but oftentimes we're using that 16 ounce or 1 pound in the glove arm as the athlete is going through, as they're going through their actual plyo program, to just feel where that glove arm is in space. The majority of the balls that we usually work with at OGX are actually the overload plyos, which are the 12 ounce and the 8 ounce. So these are balls that are heavier than the actual softball, which is 7 ounce. So with overload, unlike what we typically have thought of heavy balls or weighted balls as being used for, which is to go max intensity, to go for velocity, for power, we actually do these at lower intensities, usually 75% intensity. And the goal of the overload is to allow the arm to sync up. It actually slows the arm down. So it helps to promote a better trunk-arm relationship. It helps to promote length in the arm, segmentation of the arm. Oftentimes we are working with athletes whose patterns really lead to arm rigidity or stiffness. They have maybe shortened arm paths. And so these overload plyos really are the best way to attack, again, getting more out of the arm by not only influencing its length and its whip action, but also making sure it's in a good relationship with the trunk. After the overload plyos, then we have the 7 ounce plyo, and this is equal or similar to the weight of a softball. So the difference with this is that we're really just trying to take the work that we were doing on the overload plyos and now start to feel it translate on a little bit more of a weight that we're used to. So for example, if an athlete is using overload to influence length or position of arm, how well can she hold that position or length now that we're getting into a more of a stable, neutral weight? So we do use the 7 ounce a lot, and that's really what it's for. It's used to bridge or connect to the regular weight of a softball. And then finally, we have underload. Now, underload is the one that we use the least because it involves the most criteria. Pitchers need to be really stable, both outside of the motion, also within their motion. We essentially use a 5 ounce to speed everything up. If we feel as if the arm action looks really clean, it's really whip-like, patterns are stable and strong, let's just speed it up, let's add some fuel to it, this is when we would go for 5 ounce. We want to be careful is that sometimes the 5 ounce, any athlete that's using the arm too much during deceleration, maybe an athlete has too stiff of arm action, the 5 ounce is only going to fuel that or feed that. And so again, we have to use this a little bit more selectively. Lastly, in addition to using separate categories of weights, whether it's overload versus neutral weight or underload, what we often do in plyo programming is that we ask athletes to mix up the weights that they're throwing, but to be able to hit the same target no matter what. This is an attempt to really ask the athletes to tap into a level of variability, adjustability in their arm, which is exactly what we're asking them to do when we ask them to have adjustability in games. To be able to register where they are in space, to adjust the timing of when the upper arm releases its tension down to the lower arm, to manipulate height of the ball path, whether it's up versus down, in versus out, and then eventually hand position to produce different spins. So ball weight really is about getting more out of the arm. There's a variety of ways that we can do that, which is why we utilize weights all the way from higher levels of overload down to underload.